from him, so he wrote a poem about her, and the chimes that played in the tower as the two lovers would walk hand in hand across the bridge beside the waters, listening to the chimes. Poem? Annabel Lee. Writer? Edgar Allan Poe. First line of the poem talks about their kingdom by the sea. Doesn't that tower look like it goes to a castle? Some say Poe's ghost still haunts High Bridge, looking for his lost love. Probably looking for his cottage. It's been moved 3 times. See the apartment towers coming up on the hill to your left? All 14 lanes of Interstate 95 go underneath them. Robert Moses did not care. Hamilton's mansion, the Grange in Manhattan, or Poe's cottage in the Bronx was in the way. Build the highway, move the homes. Each home has been moved 3 times. Each has been restored. You should visit. When Interstate 95 starts across the Alexander Hamilton Bridge, it becomes the Cross Bronx Expressway, usually prefaced by this phrase: traffic is backed up on the Cross Bronx Expressway all the way back to the apartments. That big Build Back Better bill in Washington is going to fix some of this. In a survey of the nation's truck drivers, that is the first bottleneck in the national highway system. We are worst, we are first. The next bridge, well, beside Mr. Hamilton is Mr. George Washington. It's the Washington Bridge. It's not the George Washington Bridge. Honors same president, different bridge, different highway. Route 1 crosses here. Big thank you to Robert Moses. This is an actual quote. Why can't we have 2 bridges named for George Washington? He was a great man. We'll have this old one and the new one. No one will mix them up. Unless you're moving from Pittsburgh to here for graduate school, not that I'm carrying a grudge. Or a big one. To your left, the Red Brick Tower, that's the Balfour Science Center of Yeshiva University. So I'm not Jewish, so I move into a Jewish neighborhood. Signs on buildings, yeshiva this, yeshiva that. Asked a Jewish friend what it meant. She said it literally means to sit, but every single one of those buildings had a school inside of it, so it kind of meant to sit and learn. This is part of the eldest, most prestigious Jewish study center in the U.S. The Red Brick Tower is the Balfour Science Center of Yeshiva University. And this is your science lesson for today. Look at the rock along the water to your left. You see the drill marks with dynamite? Okay, now compare and contrast the rock on the water to your right. On the right, small, soft, easy to break, nice. GNEISS, scientific name. Nice. To your left, big, heavy, and dense. Try to break it with a shovel, you'll say, schist, give me dynamite. SCHIST, Manhattan schist, is this dense bedrock, which means the Empire State Building can be over 1,000 feet tall, and yet the foundation is only 55 feet deep. The rock you dynamite out 6 stories down weighs more than that 102-story building at 34th Street to the Valley. So remember, the Bronx and Queens, they're nice. Manhattan is full of schist. Science teacher taught me that when this was reading the Jews before she goes to the ground. To your right, the Harlem River Towers, a local may call the Roberto Clemente Towers. Now, growing up near the Pittsburgh airport in the 60s and early 70s, I watched Roberto Clemente play right field for the Pirates. Owned it. 12 consecutive Gold Gloves for outfielding, 15-time All-Star, MVP National League 66, MVP World Series 71, a batting average record for the series that stood for 25 years. One of 32 people in baseball to have 3,000 or more hits. But beyond that, a great humanitarian. Clemente used to give free baseball clinics to kids in Latin America. 1/3 of professional baseball in the U.S. as a result was Latin. But not today, it's less than a fifth. New Year's Eve 1972, instead of celebrating safe at home, Clemente is taking earthquake relief to Nicaragua. Anti-government rebels are stealing aid as it lands. They won't do harm to me, Clemente said. At his insistence to make up for losses, a plane is overloaded. Clemente hops aboard. In a heavy storm, the plane takes off, the load shifts, and it crashes into the sea. When they built the first state park in the city, it's not honoring a Met or a Yankee. Look. To your left, East Harlem became known as Spanish Harlem, and Hispanics settled here after World War II. Terrible timing. The city is pushing industry, entry-level jobs out, as Hispanics and African Americans are moving in. No other groups came to the city when that was policy, to export jobs. So although born in East Harlem, to your left, former Secretary of State, the late Colin Powell, and actor Al Pacino were raised in the South Bronx, to your right, where there was once work. But look left and right. It's all recreational or residential construction. Jenny from the Block, Castle Hill, the Bronx, J-Lo today. Bobby Darin, Deanna the Belmonts, Billy Joel, Regis Philbin, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, comedian Robert Klein. From the Boogie Down Bronx, baby. Left and right economic empowerment zone, so they reconstruct. We'll take the break. We'll pick it up at Yankee Stadium. Talk about reconstruction. Remember, if you cheer for the Yankees, or even if you don't, feel free to engage me. My name is David.
Malayo din. Tumahimik na si si David.
There's no looking for us. They didn't find us.
I think they are
To the
looking.
left, behind the green
yeah.
ramp, the
Maybe he heard
369th
us.
Harlem Hellfighters Armory. Rejected by
We are
the U.S.
here.
Army because they were all African Americans, the unit fought for the French Army and became the most decorated
Yeah, show
unit
us
of
the
the war
picture.
for the Allies. Receiving the Croix de Guerre, the highest French military award 8 times.
Okay.
They are now
Defense
integrated.
stories.
Now part of the U.S. Army. It's the unit Colin Powell claimed as his home unit, but back in that day, fighting World War I in Europe and racism at home. Look up Private Henry Johnson and the 369 Harlem Hellfighters Redeemed.
Nasa Harlem na tayo. Malapit na tayo.
Tanungin mo nga yung, hindi ba yung ano?
Yun yun eh.
Tanungin nga natin.
Hindi nyo na tayo makita kasi iba na yung mukha natin. May takip na tayo.